There we go. What's up, guys? How you guys enjoying the con so far? Good? You guys ready for the next panel? We're all Flash fans, I assume? Legends of Tomorrow? All right, well then I won't waste any more time. Let me introduce my guests, Mr. Matt Letscher and Michelle Harrison. Welcome.
Can anybody hear me?
Check, check.
We still got one mic that's not on. Oh, there we go.
Hi, guys.
Well, welcome to Harrisburg, both of you. I know this is not your first time to Harrisburg Comic Con. You were here last year, too.
Last year was my first con ever in my whole life, and this year is Matt's.
This is my first con ever.
His first con.
Yeah. It's been really, really fun.
It's a good entry point.
Yeah, it's terrific.
And it's not every day you get to share the stage with the person who murdered you and framed your husband.
It is not. Let me tell you, it's not.
Multiple times.
I'm still a little worried, actually, sitting. I might need to switch places.
We can
with you
switch.
at
I
some
can bring you
point.
two up. It's fine. If you're a little worried.
I have to say, I love your shirt. That color.
I did that on
color
purpose.
Is terrific.
I did it on purpose, and I'll tell you why. Because as a Flash fan, I was always a bigger fan of Reverse Flash than I was of the Flash. Nothing against Grant, but Eobard is...
That's how it should be. Yeah.
I'm not even sure what to do right now.
Maybe it's good that you are sitting between us.
That's right.
All right, I'm gonna take my coat off.
But this is actually, this is your second time around. How many cons have you done in between last year and now?
I think 6 or 7. We lost, 6 or 7. Yeah? Aaron's saying yeah.
Okay.
I love this con. I love coming to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
My family, I have some relatives that were born here years and years ago, so there's a piece of me in Pennsylvania.
Always nice to come back to family and such.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a cool moment for me too, because this, in a way, kind of completes 2 sets for me. I have earlier had the opportunity to meet John Wesley Shipp, so I've already met Barry's father. Now I'm meeting Barry's mother. And earlier on, at the end of last year, I actually met Neil McDonough and John Barrowman, so I'm completing the Legion of Doom today, too.
Hey.
So this is a pretty cool moment for me, too. So
I suddenly feel so cheap.
I saved the best for
just
last.
Another notch in your belt? Is that what you're saying?
But I saved the best for last.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right,
there
you got me.
that up.
It's always the last piece of the set that's the most valuable.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to start off by saying that as a Flash fan, I've started from the beginning, and I always love it when you two appear on the show, but for completely different reasons. Anytime Nora Allen appears on The Flash, Flash is already a show that already has so much emotion built into it. But anytime Nora Allen appears on screen, there's always so much more emotion that comes along with Barry seeing his mother. The Runaway Dinosaur is a prime example of that. It's still to this day one of my all-time favorite episodes of that show. And not only from your performance, but, the direction of Kevin Smith at the same time. Matt, I love it when you come on screen because, like I said, I'm a big fan of Reverse Flash and you're just a badass. So...
Well, I love... I spent this last season on Legends, too, so I've had 2 very different experiences in the DC TV universe. The shows tonally are just very different shows, even though I'm playing the same guy. But that Barry-Eobard relationship for me is easily the richest one and the most fun to play, and the ones that Andrew Kreisberg and the writers seem to really have their claws into. My favorite episode that I've done is probably the Reverse... the Reverse Flash Returns in season 2, where we had a lot of juicy stuff, Barry and I, and there's just that relationship is such a complicated one that it's fun to come back.
Yeah, and you mentioned too working on Legends this past season. The interaction between, as I said, I've had the opportunity to meet Barrowman and Neil McDonough, and now you. The interaction the dynamic between the personalities that you are in real life to the personalities that you play on television are so extreme.
Yeah.
You know, Barrowman himself is a huge prankster and just a goofball.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
My God.
So I wonder what's it been like to work off of each other during that entire season of Legends?
It was a real treat. For a number of reasons. I mean, yeah, both John and Neil are so well versed in the Arrowverse. You know, I mean, they were huge sources of information for me, actually, based on what they had already done. But they're also two incredible pros. I mean, they show up on set, they are ready to go. They're ready to have fun doing it, and I felt like the chemistry really worked. The way they set up the Legion of Doom in the second season. Really became, a great driving force for the season as it came to an end. And the chemistry between the three of us, and then the chemistry also between John and Neil, which was it was like the evil Three Stooges, I mean, I was Mo, Neil was Larry, and I guess John was either Shemp or Curly, depending on how you view him. But it was just a treat, and coming from something like The Flash, which, like you said, is so thick with emotion. I mean, that show is really a much more intimate show and pretty deep. Going to something that adventurous and bawdy and just out there was fun, pure fun.
I know earlier I was on stage with David Ramsey from Arrow, and the timing was kind of bad because we haven't seen the finale yet of Arrow, but we also haven't seen the finale yet of Flash. I'm one of those people that I don't watch promos for upcoming episodes. I like to be surprised. I know there are people that get so excited, and I'm a hypocrite because I watched the promo for Arrow, but I didn't watch it for Flash on purpose. Some of the people in the audience might already know the answer to this. I personally don't, but are we going...
Shaking his head no.
Oh, no spoilers?
No.
All right. All right, well, then there goes my question. So,
Good catch.
We'll make it more broad then. What would you like to see where would you like to see the relationship between Barry and Nora go in future seasons of this show? Or at least iterations of Nora Allen, because we've seen her as a physical form of the Speed Force. I say Time Force all the time, and that's Power Rangers. It's completely different. But what would you like to see more come out of that, if anything?
Well, this might be left field, but I was at a con once, and somebody brought up the character Rosenthorn. Do you guys know who that is? Yeah. Flaming red hair. She's super badass. She wears this green costume and black knee-high boots.
Okay.
So I thought it would be really cool. Well, this person had said they thought it would be really cool if Nora Allen became Rosenthorn and fought Barry in another timeline. So I would like to do, in another Earth, yeah. So leave Nora Allen for a little while, go do something sort of not Nora Allen, and then come back.
Okay,
that's what I would like to see. Whether or not that will happen, I'm not sure. But.
And that's one of the reasons why I like The Flash too, is because with the multiverse and time travel,
yeah,
anything is possible on these shows.
Yeah.
We've seen Reverse Flash die twice.
Oh yeah.
I got you beat.
So have I.
I got you beat.
And something tells me it's not going to be the last time we see, at least I hope, it's not going to be the last time we see Eobard.
I hope so too. I mean, this whole thing was a big surprise from the get-go for me anyway, so I feel like it's all gravy from this point forward. Even last year, before being signed on to Legends, I didn't know until right about this time last year, they called up and they're like, yeah, we got this idea for, the second season of Legends. So it's sort of the gift that keeps on giving. I hope it does. Yeah, I was thinking maybe there's a timeline where Eobard and Nora are actually Barry's parents. Maybe they get married. So I'd be his stepfather, I guess.
Right. That's going to be a rocky relationship to start off.
Yeah,
I think we can probably work through that.
There's already that grudge, but I don't kill you. So there's that.
No.
So
there's
I've
no
saved your
domestic
life,
violence.
but I've married you.
Right. It's going to be a lot of counseling sessions.
Anything to keep it juicy,
That would be so interesting. I didn't even think about that.
I know.
Well, isn't there a Flash where Eobard actually marries Iris? Isn't that something that happens in one of the?
I'm not sure about
You're
that.
not sure?
Anybody know that?
Somebody
answer?
told me about
Someone.
that. where he. I'm just trying to just pretend that there is, because I'm trying to manufacture.
We're finding cool storylines for ourselves, so just go with it. Yeah.
I'd like to see an alternate Earth, or one of the other Earths, where the roles are reversed and Barry is actually the villain and Eobard is the hero.
I'd be all aboard that train.
I like that.
I mean, again, it's with the multiverse and time travel and everything. There's so many different options for things that they can do with this show that you can go anywhere on this.
Yeah, I mean, even for anybody who's seen the season finale of Legends, where I die again and disintegrate, and I am erased from existence, quote unquote. If you think about it long enough, you realize there's a bunch of places they could just yank me out.
Yeah,
There's all kinds of remnants and other Earths and timelines that he can be pulled from. So.
Is it always exciting when you guys get the phone call that you're being brought back? I would assume it is, because that cast is a pretty close-knit family. So to be included in it, I would imagine, is a huge honor.
Always, yeah. It's. I love going there. It's kind of like going home a little bit, and it's always exciting to get the scripts, and you're racing through to see where your name is, which is what we do. Oh, where's Nora Allen?
Ignoring everybody else.
me. Oh, okay. Me. Although I have been wearing the same costume now for 3 years, except for Flashpoint. I've had the same Nora Allen costume every time I go to work. So
like to see
I
a
wouldn't
wardrobe
mind.
change?
Yeah, I've never had another wardrobe fitting since the pilot. So.
See, most dudes actually love that. It's like, oh, all I have to do is wear one outfit. That's great. No more fittings for me.
Well, I think yours is basically just rotated between two different outfits.
This year
hasn't
it was, yeah. They gave me the black leather look for Legends, and I was like, wow, we're really getting exotic with Reverse Flash.
I get the pink sweater, so that's lucky you.
Yeah.
That could be a hint that there's a possibility that Reverse Flash is also Black Flash. So in essence, you caught and killed yourself. Maybe.
You never know. You never know.
You never know.
You never know when you're going to get that phone call.
You really just kind of blew my mind.
And there's a pink sweater waiting
there.
for you in your trailer. You never know.
Yeah.
Eobard thought is Nora Allen.
Is Nora Allen as the Black Flash?
Well, I mean, a prime example of like how you said you never know. When, as I mentioned earlier, John Wesley Shipp had said that, who's now Jay Garrick in the show, that was something they pitched to him in the very beginning, and he had turned it down. He said, in essence, he wanted to be Barry's father because it was more personable, but then he grew to love the cast and the crew so much that he took on the mantle of Jay Garrick towards the end. So it did come around, and everything happens in a full circle. I want to know if anybody in the audience has any questions for Matt or Michelle. You can put your hand up if anybody has any questions. All right, you know what? I'll bring the mic to you.
Thank you both for coming today. My question is for Matt. One of my favorite abilities of the Reverse Flash is when he stabs people with his super speed.
Phasing, when he phases.
Phasing, that's the word.
I called it vibing at one point on Twitter, and everybody got really pissed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to call it.
Because that's what we did call it. It was vibing, and then Cisco became vibe, and then it just all fell to hell in a handbasket. So.
Yeah, I almost called it that. But
okay.
My question is, how did they film that? Because that was always interesting look to it.
Yeah, that's all VFX. That's all. I mean, when you actually end up filming it, when you actually end up filming anything that's speedster related on set, you're really doing start-stop stuff. So if I'm about to phase somebody, I come up to them and I just put my hand at their chest and just hold it there, and then I have to step out so they get a clean plate without me in there, and then step back in and do whatever action I'm doing after the phasing is done, if that makes sense. And so they add the vibrating motion and everything else in later. This applies for if you're running at super speed or anything like that. It always interrupts the flow of the scene. So there was a scene on Legends this season where I was stuck in a vault with John Barrowman and Neil McDonough. I don't mean to make that sound bad, stuck in a vault. It was lovely. But in
Don't
the middle,
tweet that.
in the middle of the scene, I had to run up and grab John by the throat. I think it was in the vault. Maybe it was in our office. But I run up and grab him by the throat and shove him against the wall. And it was a big, intense scene. We were going back and forth. And so we're sitting there yelling at each other, and then the AD yells, "Hold." And if you were actually to see the footage, it would be me slowly trudging across the room, him getting up on a box, me putting my hand up against his throat. Okay, start. And then you start the scene again. So, technically it's really antithetical to what you want to be doing as an actor. You want to start to develop flow in a scene. But, it's the way you got to do it. And it ends up looking great, however they put it together, it ends up looking great.
Thank you.
Is it awkward? Turn the mic off. When you guys are doing the special effects on set, I'm going to switch.
Thanks for coming out, everybody.
I should just keep using the wire. I'll just keep using the wireless, it's fine. Is it awkward to do a lot of that? Because I would assume it's got to be, especially if you're doing something like the stop and starting, I can imagine, but if you're doing something where like Firestorm, where he's got to fly, it's literally you just doing this.
Basically.
And then there's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
Does that get awkward at times?
Totally, all the time. Yeah, who's got it down to a science is Grant. I mean, obviously he has to do it all the time, but Grant is so professional. He takes everything so seriously. So really, for the effects, all you have to do is if you're taking off, running, you just have to take a step, and then they say, "All right, hold," and then you walk off. And the first time I was going to do it, I was like, "All right, like this," and Grant's like, "No, that's not how speedsters run. That's not how." He's like, "First of all, you have to alternate your limbs. So whatever foot is going forward, the other arm has to be going up. All right, that's the first thing. And the second thing is, if you're coming back into frame, you gotta, you have to be coming from somewhere." So Grant he's so great. He gives us all every time. It's like if he's coming back into a spot, and you'll see it on screen. It's just like. He's just like all his energy is coming back into that spot, and if you give it that kind of performance, then it helps you stay in it, I think. But I had to learn it from the best in order to really be able to do it.
Michelle, have you had to do anything awkward like that on set?
I just lay on the floor and die repeatedly.
Is that too
And
soon?
there's some tears that usually come.
Always crying.
Yeah, I have a lot of crying on that show.
That was a little too soon.
And
to
that's
ask that
not
question.
fake tears.
I will say my favorite effect shot that I did on The Flash was when Grant and I were both in the Speed Force and we're running next to each other, and one is kind of pulling ahead of the other, and then they're going back and forth. The way we actually ended up shooting that was taking a rope, tied one end to my back, tied the other end to Grant's back, and we just ran next to each other. Some grip is like 20 feet behind us holding the rope, and then he lets a little bit out for Grant so he can get ahead, and then he pulls him back in and lets a little bit out for me so I can get ahead. And there's a green screen behind us, and we're just sitting here doing this thing, And
It's like a leash.
it's embarrassing for a number of reasons, because you feel like, A, I'm not going anywhere, I'm just in one spot. 2, yeah, I'm on a leash. And 3, I'm totally exhausted by the end of it. I'm completely winded. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You're running in place and you can barely stand up anymore.
Over the course of the shows, whether it be Legends or, Flash, you've worked with a number of different directors, and I mentioned before, Kevin Smith is one that kind of stands out with The Runaway Dinosaur. Do you guys have any personal favorites of people that you have worked with, or people that you would like to see come into the fold at some point to direct an episode and take the helm?
Directors? Yeah, sure.
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg would be great. Stop by.
I know it's kind of an open-ended
question. But you're right. There are a lot more directors who are sort of quote unquote named directors that are taking on as episodic work at this point. I'd have to think about that. Who is the guy who? This guy's one of my favorite directors. Of course, his name is flying out of my head right now. Children of Men. Did anybody see Children of Men? Nobody saw Children of Men?
We did.
You saw Children of Men. Thank
Someone
you.
get your phone out and Google that.
Who directed Children of Men again? Cuarón. Yeah, Alfonso Cuarón. He'd be my top choice. So everybody Google Alfonso Cuarón and then now attack him on social media. And see it
Tweet
go.
to him to get him to come out.
Yeah.
I have a funny Kevin Smith story.
Okay.
So I will admit that I wasn't exactly sure who Kevin Smith was and what he looked like before I met him. I knew who he was, but I couldn't pick him out of a crowd. So I show up to work in the morning and I'm getting a coffee, and this guy with this big jersey comes out of one of the work trucks, and he goes, "Hey," I was like, "Hi." He goes, "You need anything from me?" And I thought he was like, "Do you need anything in your trailer? Do you need some water? Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." And I'm sitting there and I'm like, who is that guy? Who is that? He's just kind of like shuffling around set in his jersey. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, oh, shit, that's Kevin Smith. So I was like, no, I'm good. So then I walked over to him, and then I didn't tell him I didn't know who he was, but I had a conversation with him. But he's just so casual and so easygoing and kind of one of the team that I didn't know who he was, but he was lovely to work with and such a team player. And that cast, they loved him on that show. They love him, and he's gone back, as you know, a few times.
Yeah, I know he's come back. I want to see like I think it'd be interesting to do like an M. Night Shyamalan episode of The Flash.
Yeah.
It'd be completely off the wall and weird, but hey, it's one of those. He's done television before, so we can see him come into the fold.
Sometimes you got to get weird.
That's right. Out of everybody that we've seen appear on The Flash or Legends, I mean, there's so many other superheroes and villains that are out there. Are there any people that you would like to see show up on the show? Like anybody that you were a fan of growing up, or even if you don't, just from mainstream, people that are in the films now that you would want to see?
Are you talking about actors or characters?
No, characters.
You're talking about characters.
Yeah.
Okay, so DC characters. Well, I mean, this is like, my.
He's waving. Him, we'd like to see him right there.
You're hired. This is sort of pipe dreamy, and they're already doing another show about him. But I mean, the Batman is my personal favorite in terms of the DC canon because of, well, for a number of reasons that I could go on and on about, but his ultimate humanity in a world of metahumans, to me, would be an interesting contrast. But that's me. There's all kinds of much more interesting characters I'm sure I'm not thinking about.
Yeah.
Who do you guys want to see?
Yeah.
Oh, yes? Impulse? Mar Allen.
Bart.
Oh, Bart
Allen.
Allen.
Well, didn't we kind of got like a little tease of Bart Allen, what was it, last week, when he looked at his license and his name was Bartholomew. I'll go by Bart. Do anybody else in the audience have any questions? Because I can bring the mic back down and... All right, we got a couple more. I'll bring the mic around.
Did you guys see her shirt? Karen's shirt? You got to come up here, Karen, and show them. I'm going to bring her up here because it's pretty great. Yeah.
Don't get close to me, though, because I'm the wrong guy.
Look at that. Right? I'm going to start marketing those.
Did you have a question, too?
So I really like the Flash episode, the musical. So I was wondering if Nora Allen or Reverse Flash could sing a song in that episode. What would you have picked?
Ooh. I actually tried to get a song in that. I do sing, and I tried to get them to put me in the musical episode. They did put me in it in the very beginning, but I think there were so many cast members that wanted to sing that they had to, like Tom Cavanaugh he played his guitar and sang a song, and they filmed it, but it didn't make it in. I think there was just too many people that wanted to do it. What would I sing? I have no idea. I'd have to think about that one.
I'd want to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
You would.
Because it would be such a
Wearing
nice
the red
twist
St. Nora Allen
on
shirt.
that. That's right. I'll see you all somewhere over the rainbow after I've phased your hearts out of your body.
You can raise your hands if there's other people who have questions. Look over here.
This is from Matt. I was curious, in the first season, we get to know Tom Cavanaugh initially as the Reverse Flash, you know, like in the H.R. Wells suit, I guess you could say. And by the time that you really take over, he's kind of already introduced the character in a lot of ways. So by that point, how do you come in, and what do you borrow from him, and what do you try to like distance from him in that same character? What did you do?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think it was, I think in some ways it was a difficult transition for the fans. I mean, not just from a logic standpoint, like, wait, what? He's this guy now? But also because they've become accustomed to an actor that they know and love playing this part. So I didn't put too much, I tried not to overthink it, really, you know, because I knew this was going to be a reset for the character in a lot of ways. But I did watch The Flash and try and take away just a few basic elements from Tom's performance and think about those as I was approaching the character. I mean, Tom, early on, there was something about his, you know, he's such a brilliant performer on so many levels. And I've worked with him before in other things, but in this, there was a terseness and a containment to his emotions that I felt was important in terms of, like, even just the pacing of the dialogue, tonally, how he sounded. He was tended to be, for the most part, very even-keeled. You'd see him get a little more gregarious at points, but fairly stony, you know? I mean, there was something about him there was a menace lurking, you know? And so I wanted to try and embrace that a little bit more and lean on that. But I didn't want to try and impersonate whatever he was doing, because, you know, that would just be a mistake. So I counted on the audience to sort of come along for the ride and just say, okay, now we know this is the guy who's really playing him. And yeah, he was wearing a Harrison Wells suit, which is creepy and hilarious. So yeah, I did, and you know, to the show and the fans' credit, I think they went with it. You know, over time they bought it.
All right, other questions? We'll come over here.
Hi, thanks for being here today. It's a pleasure watching you guys talk. My question is for Matt. With your transition from The Flash to Legends of Tomorrow, we kind of got to see Reverse Flash open up with his personality a little bit. I wanted to know how much of that was from your input as opposed to from the writers. Like, how much of Matt is in Reverse Flash and Legends as opposed to The Flash?
It was more my input than the writer. I mean, first of all, the two shows tonally are very different. I think I already talked about that. The Flash is much more about a much more emotional, intimate kind of family show. Legends is like Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, bawdy, adventurous, crazy. The conditions of the Reverse Flash's existence in the two shows are very different too. And on Legends, he knows right away, he's there because he knows the Black Flash is after him, you know, from the get-go. So there's this urgency to that character that may not be as apparent in the first one, or in The Flash. That being said, when you're thrown into scenes with McDonough and Barrowman and this Legion of Doom setup, you wind up falling into these rhythms, and you wind up, maybe good rhythms. I mean, you know, sort of, you find the comedy and stuff that you may not have thought of before in another setting. So there was an adjustment to be made moving from one show to the other, and I tend to just use a lot of what I'm getting from other actors. Like, I don't go in necessarily with big ideas about, all right, so on Legends, the Reverse Flash is going to be extra funny and mean or whatever. I try and take what I'm getting from the people I'm working with and contribute to that, add to that, find the back and forth that makes these characters then more human and more appealing. And they just wrote some good stuff for me too on Legends. I mean, in the second season, the Moonshot, the episode where I go to the moon with Ray Palmer, there's some great stuff in there that they wrote, where I think gave you a different kind of window into Eobard Thawne's dark and twisted soul. So a lot of it is writing, but some of it is just showing up and being ready to play and see where that takes you. So much of it's just kind of lightning in a bottle. It's like, what do you find once you start playing? Thank you.
My question is for Michelle. I'm wondering, how many times have you had to film that death scene?
I think we have decided it's 7 or 8 now. And it's not stock footage. We're reshooting that scene mostly, not all the pieces of it, every time. So most of the times you've seen it, most, not all.
I myself have shot that scene at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, we have done it repeatedly in the same room, the same thing. But actually, it's really interesting as an actor. It's challenging to repeat the scene in a new and refreshing way, also following the blocking that you've done before. So it's actually a good actor challenge to do that, to try to find that again, after having not been there for a couple of months and doing other things. So yeah, 7, I think.
It's got to be a record.
Yeah.
All right, over to this side here.
Piggybacking off that question, what's it like working with Grant? Do you guys get any happy moments, like on set, or is it like
He's awful.
in your zone? Not like that, but like you guys cry every time you see each other. Is it like a Debbie Downer, like, hi Grant, let's cry today?
No, I would say the first little while working with Grant, because the scenes were so intense, it was a very intense set because we're both focused on what we have to do, and over time we've developed a friendship, and you guys know that he's engaged, right? That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
The last time that I saw him, he was telling me all about how he was going to propose to his soon-to-be wife, and it's very sweet. So I think it just depends on what's happening in the scene, kind of where we're at. Some days are more, oops, Grant's going to be engaged, yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on what's happening in a scene and what you're shooting.
I would say that working with him is usually the highlight of my. I love working with everybody on that show, but Grant is pretty special. I mean,
Yeah.
he is for such a young actor. He is got a real depth of talent and the work ethic to match. I mean, he shows up ready to work and ready to play
All
and
the
ready to
time.
go every single day. And you wouldn't believe the hours that guy works.
Yeah.
I mean, probably more so. I mean, Stephen Amell maybe matches him, but as much as anybody in the DC TV universe, he is working nonstop, and I've never seen him drop the ball, not once. So I always, instead of being sad or when I see him or feeling extra evil or something like that, it's like I get excited. I'm excited for my Grant days because I know that we're going to find stuff. I know that we're going to play. I know we're going to add some new layer to this relationship that we've been building for a few seasons. So.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Thanks.
I have another question here in the back.
Hi, I'm honored to meet you because I'm a huge fan of both of you. So my question is for both of you. If you could choose to be any other character on the show, The Flash or Legends of Tomorrow, who would you want to be?
Wow. Flash or Legends of Tomorrow?
I'm going to say Killer Frost because I think she's really,
And you already know my answer. It's the Batman. I mean, what makes that character for me the most special is, and it's that you have so much backstory with Batman. You have so much rich history to work with, and also the fact that he's just a guy. Really, he's a guy that uses technology and intelligence and other things to elevate himself to this level of superhero, but in reality, he's a dude who just really wants to fight crime. It's separate. I like that kind of separation from the metahuman world. It also I don't know if you guys ever feel this way, but one thing about watching shows about superheroes, and speedster shows are kind of the prime example of this, is like, really, if Eobard Thawne wanted to kill everybody all at once, he really could. I mean, that's because that's it. He's that fast. He could just he could just be done, you know? Like, why have any scenes? Just kill everybody. Just do the thing. You're done. And so you start to think, you know, what's he waiting for? And you come up with reasons, you know, there's reasons why he doesn't. There's things he needs. There are things about him that are still human. But when you have these powers that are so overpowering, like Superman, whatever, okay, so we need something to stop him, kryptonite. So there's a rock that stops Superman. There's something about Batman and his inherent vulnerability still that he always carries with him. And that vulnerability is both physical and psychological. It's like the Hamlet. It's like the Hamlet of comic book characters, I think. Am I talking too much?
No, that was another great answer.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I think we have
That'll
time.
be 10 points.
I think we have time for one more from the audience if anybody else has a question. We're going to go towards the back. We'll see if maybe we can fit in two. I'm not as fast as the Flash. I got to run. All right, I think we had a couple other people in the front too. You can put your hands up.
You can ask us later if you want. You change your mind.
So we'll go right over here.
I was wondering, is there any fun pranks or bloopers that you guys remember, or is the set completely serious most of the time?
What can I tell? What can I tell? No. I don't really get to work with a lot of the cast. I usually only get to work with Grant and Little Barry for the most part. So I can't say that. I have worked with the full cast, and I can't say anymore. No, I don't have any because most of my scenes are in the house with just a few of the cast members, so I miss all those fun moments. Do you have any over there?
I mean, the bloopers are kind of endless. There was one fun, I have to remember exactly how it, I was in a scene with, it was Neil and John, who are always ready to go off at any moment. But there was, it was a big argument about something, and there was flow to this scene, you know, it was leading up to something, and it was pretty hot. And at one point I mentioned the legends. And I talk about the legends and how they're, you know, what they're gonna do. And instead of saying the legends, for whatever reason, you know, I said something like, the Avengers are gonna come in and kill us all. And everybody stopped, and I was like, scratch that. Burn that film right now. So, yeah, I got my universes mixed up for a second. That's how you get fired. Yeah.
I have one final question from myself to wrap everything up. Do you guys get to sit back and watch these episodes as fans, like the finished products, as they air or, you know, as they appear on Netflix or wherever they're going to be? And if so, do you have any favorite episodes of the shows that you are not a part of? Any that stand out as a favorite of yours that you were not involved with?
I mean, I'm part of the musical episode, but just in the beginning, I loved the musical episode. I loved seeing people do something that they haven't normally done on that show, and the singing and the dancing, and I thought everyone just brought it in that episode. And I love HR.
I'm a big fan of Kavanaugh.
I am too.
HR was one of those personalities of Kavanaugh because he has played so many different characters on that show, but it's all in essence the same person.
Yeah.
And HR was the one that I thought I was not going to like, and he grew on me so fast.
He's so endearing.
I just
yeah.
ended up enjoying it.
Yeah.
Matt, how about you?
You know, one of my favorite episodes, which I think was kind of a controversial episode, and I forget if this was Kevin Smith's first episode, was the one where Barry, where the Speed Force became a character, right? Where Barry, do you remember the episode I'm talking about?
That was the Runaway Dinosaur.
That's Runaway Dinosaur. Thank you. Yeah, that. And you said that was one of your favorites. That
actually is probably my favorite of the series.
I remember watching that episode and being semi-blown away by the risk that they took. You know, just that jump that they took, and I loved Grant's performance in that episode. I loved what everybody brought to that episode. I loved the pace of it. It just was such a departure for the show at the time. And so, you know, it reminded me a little bit of the sequence in Harry Potter and where Harry dies and he sees Dumbledore and whatever afterworld they're in, and there's everybody know what I'm talking about. You know, it's like I started feeling those same feels for Barry in that episode, and I remember at the end of that thinking, wow, that wasn't just a good episode of The Flash. That was a work of art. Like that was they took a risk. They went out there, and for me anyway, it really paid off.
Yeah, I mean, and a huge testament to the entire cast, yourself included, Michelle and Candace Patton and Grant and Joe. Why am I blanking on his name? Jesse, oh, that's it.
Jesse, yeah.
Who is somebody I would love to meet one day too. But I mean, also to Kevin Smith's directing in the same point. That was, again, that's one of the reasons why that's one of my personal favorites too. But we are out of time. I want everybody to make some noise. Thank you, Michelle and Matt, for joining us, everybody. Be sure you go on downstairs, stop by and see them at the tables.